For today's Cyber CEO episode,
the assistance, the leverage we get through Cyberbacker to have this team is so incredible. They're amazing. I'm getting the leverage that's built between the cushion of Cyberbacker, that person, and me. They have growth backers. They've got the nucleus and like the foundation of RealNext or whatever CRM training portal you're in. Cyberbacker made all of that easier. So you can just run faster. You can build bigger. You can think bigger. You can help your clients better. And you can do it all in a way that helps people on the other side of the world have much bigger and influential lives as well. I have the best 4 Cyberbackers in all of Cyberbackerdom. Nobody come steal them. They're amazing.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show. Alicia, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking and for being on the show. I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate the time. Now, to start things off, to let you know, we have a lot of listeners who are business owners just like yourself. So I need your help. Can you tell us something about your business and what you do mainly?
Yeah, I'm all things commercial real estate. So I am one of the executive leaders for KW Commercial. We nationally lead the commercial division here across the United States and Canada. I also own 12 companies that are all in the commercial real estate space. So commercial transaction coordination, commercial marketing, commercial training, commercial property management, debt, title. Everything is in the commercial space though, because when I wake up, and I put my feet on the ground, my intentionality is to create a more complete commercial real estate experience, not only for the investors and the clients we serve, but for the agents inside the space and to make their worlds more accessible and easy.
Gosh, I can only imagine what your calendar looks like every day. It must be pretty crazy for you every day.
Nah, it's well organized.
Good to know. So how long have you been doing this, Alicia, by the way?
I've been in commercial real estate going on 17 years.
17 years. A lot of experience right there. So how about working with someone virtual though? Just like what you're doing with Cyberbacker. Is this a first for you?
No, I've used virtual talent since right before COVID. So it's been something that, I stepped into with this big limiting belief of virtual assistant won't work in the work that I do. It won't work in commercial real estate. What we do is, I need someone in the seat next to me in the office. How will I know that there's 100 different thoughts that you could think. And I thought all of them. I had like stinking thinking around it. And so I hired my first virtual assistant. She still works with us today, to be just an assistant to help me. And then when COVID hit, that became my oxygen. Oh. And I realized really quickly all those limiting beliefs about person needing there beside me, whether I liked it or not, they weren't allowed to exist because COVID was going to require it. Right.
Yeah.
And
true.
So, I got really crystal clear really quickly that virtual was going to be really powerful for my world.
That's good to know. At least something positive came out of a negative, which was the pandemic. Now virtual leverage is really booming around the world. Am I right?
Yeah, totally. Smart companies and smart business owners are starting to understand that if we put a ceiling on our growth based on who's sitting in the seat beside us versus just who's in the seat, and I don't care where that seat is, our businesses are expanding because we're owning the reality of what's coming and not sitting in the, I wish it would still be the way it used to be. The world is not the same. And we have to run the way we have to run to make that happen.
Yes, absolutely agree with you there, 100%. So talk to me about Cyberbacker. Who told you or who introduced Cyberbacker to you, Alicia?
Well, I'm in KW. So it's like, it's unavoidable if you're inside KW to hear about Cyberbacker because so many of our most powerful agents, our most powerful business owners reference Cyberbacker and they talk about it because they've all got them on the bench. And so as I was growing, I started seeing more about Cyberbacker and I was like, that was really cool. I'd worked with some other virtual companies and I had never really been happy with the company. So I ended up pivoting where I've got like I was hiring my own assistants. There are a lot of work that goes into doing that, into training them and managing them, right? And so I started looking at Cyberbacker because I heard all these other agents, and I was like, I'm gonna do a consult with them. I'm gonna see what they know about commercial. And similar to other companies, they were like, that's a gap. I said, okay, how do we play together to change the game together in the commercial real estate space the same way Cyberbacker has changed the game in the residential space and throughout other industries complete. Like I was really passionate of how do we do it here to help agents in this space and investors in this space.
Gosh. So as of the moment, then how long have you been partnered with Cyberbacker?
Going on a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. So
I think we talked about it for a year before we made the choice of yes.
Okay.
Because we really wanted to make sure, as did Cyberbacker, that our goals and our journeys were aligned, and that what we saw when we looked up at the end and defined as success was the same.
Yes, obviously, of course, a great partnership. That's where this great partnership started. Now, relating to partnerships, you have 4 Cyberbackers at the moment. So talk to me more.
I do. We personally have 4, and we love them. We use them in a couple of our own businesses. We think they're amazing.
Yeah, talk to me more about them. What's it like working with them every day? Each and every one of them every day.
It's incredible. I mean, if I'm honest, there's pieces of it that are almost better than having someone who's not virtual or a Cyberbacker. We love Cyberbacker just because the training and the management and the assistance, the leverage we get through Cyberbacker to have this team is so incredible. But I think I enjoy my relationship with them so much because they're not here pestering me in the office. They aren't slowing me down, and I'm not slowing them down with those like relentless, you got a minute questions that eat up 80% of the day if we're not careful.
True.
And so we had such a good experience with our Cyberbacker. In the commercial space, there are some things that you just can't put onto someone that's outside of the United States.
True.
But we had such a good experience. It changed our mindset of like the people we have to have stateside, they don't have to be here where we're at. They can be anywhere. We have talent that's in Minnesota, talent that's in California, talent that's in Washington. Our team's all over the globe now. And the relationship and the potential that we had with Cyberbacker is what helped us realize that's possible. But we have 4 really amazing Cyberbackers in different companies. We have one that's with our brokerage management company. We have one that is with our marketing company. We have one that's with our data and database research company. And we have one other that just writes shotgun in our primary company launch, which is really, really awesome.
Imagine just the beauty of virtual leverage nowadays, and just the virtual world at that, because you can already work with talent that's not in the same offices. You can work with people who are in a different state now, even with someone who's not in the same country, right?
Yeah. They're all over the globe. And that just makes it so accessible, right?
That's the exciting part. That's very, very exciting, of course. Now, how about the relationship that you talked about, relationship with your Cyberbackers? I'm quite curious because a lot of our clients would ask us about how do I make this work? How do I make this successful during the beginning of the partnership? The way you talk about your Cyberbackers feels like, there's been already a strong bond between you and your Cyberbackers. How did it get to this point between you and your Cyberbackers?
Yeah, 2 truths had to be real. One, we had to know that in-person or virtual talent is all trained, met with, held accountable, and has a growth plan in the identical fashion. So like if you're an in-person talent with me, we do a full career visioning process, which is where we spend, 5 interviews getting to determine, is this the right relationship for each of us? We do that with our Cyberbackers too. If you're in-person talent with me, I typically have a 30, 60, 90 training program that I'm going to run you through that sets you up for success to really understand how to walk, act, talk, and think the way that I need you to be in the seat that you're in my organization in. The last piece that we have that's non-negotiable is your personal growth plan. Based on your personal goals, how will I, as your leader, help you grow? And what will that look like? And so we do that same thing, whether you're in person or whether you're virtual. And I accredit that choice to a lot of the success we have with virtual talent. I think, in partnering with Cyberbacker, I hear from the business owners that are like, well, virtual isn't working for me. And when I stop and inspect, they're like, well, they should just know what to do. And if you're not pouring into your people, they certainly won't pour back into your business. So we come from a top-down approach of we have to slow down, and our organization has to be engineered in such a way that we are loving on, growing, and treating our virtual talent the same way we would in-person talent. We're going to celebrate their wins. We're going to help them find their weaknesses, help them grow through those. We're going to provide the tools and resources they need. We're going to give them time off. We're going to give them bonus opportunities. We're going to challenge them to grow both professionally and personally. And we're going to slow down to make sure that that personal bucket of theirs is filled so that they have the energy and internal resources they need to execute and run the way that we want to run and play. We want them to be able to do that too. And so I know the personal 5-year goals of all of our cyberbackers.
Wow. Gosh, love what you talked about there.
I hold that with them. Yeah.
Just investing your time and, of course, your effort for your cyberbackers. The more time you invest in them, I think during the beginning of the partnership, the less time you'd be investing in them in the future because you're already getting used to working with each other. So they all basically
on the training side, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to get. The training side, yeah, if I set it up right at the beginning, I'm not having to come back and do that. That's a one-time investment that I can get right. And with Cyberbacker, we built Cyberbacker commercial, so even that piece is off the agent's desk. You're not going to have to teach them the baselines of commercial real estate.
True.
What you will have to teach them is how do you think? How do you work? What are your fine-tuned pieces that are the reason your client hires you? They need to know that because that's your industry secret. That's your secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
No company could ever teach that to someone for you, but they can help take a lot of the basics off the plate so you don't have to do that. The part where you should never take the time back is in the growth mode of knowing your people and growing with them. Migs on our bench, I love and adore, and I appreciate the time that I get to slow down with Migs each week. And we meet weekly and I get to ask the questions, where are you winning this week? Where are you losing this week? Where are you finding gratitude right now? And how do I help celebrate those moments? That's where I get to partner with Migs as a human versus Migs is just my virtual assistant.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking at it as, you're the problem, not the.
Absolutely agree with you there because I think that's a very good example of being a leader for your people who are a part of your business. Because again, you need to help them grow, find their space where they're really having a hard time with it. Really good examples right there. Now, how about challenges? Because I know you and I could both agree that challenges could come up in any partnership, any relationship, right? So what challenges have come up you working with your cyberbackers?
Time zone expectations in the beginning can be hard. If you're not used to thinking about people are going to be working at night, then your expectation of how they show up might be slightly different. I think it's really important to realize these are human beings with families and lives and kids. In many cases, you might see a kid in the background of a Zoom once in a while, and that's going to be okay. Right? You might want them to write a lot of copy for your business, and you'd be irresponsible to expect that someone who English is their second language and they speak it beautifully is going to write copy at a level that you, where English is your first language, can't write it. I know I've had members on my team, they'll come back and they're that copy is really weak. And I'm did you write something better? No. Great. Did AI write something better? No. Great. Then that human being on the other side of the world that English is their second language just knocked it the hell out of the park. And we should celebrate that versus get nitty gritty it should be. Cut them a break, man. I think you just have to be, and I guess that's a separate rant for a separate thing. You got to be aware these people are working with a slightly different toolkit than we might imagine. They're working from home. In most cases, they're not sitting in an office environment. So their home life will show up. Be cool with that. They're working from their second language versus their first in almost every single instance. And you're not going to feel it when you talk to them. In written word, you might see that some. Yeah. So set them up for success if that's going to be an area of your business that you put them in. Leela, who's with our marketing company, she absolutely is writing copy and content. How do I make sure we cover the gaps of grammatical errors that I wouldn't know them in English, right? Set her up with a Grammarly account. So then she can type out great copy. She can leverage AI to get some good pieces in, tweak it to make it sound like my voice, and then use Grammarly to make sure she and I aren't showing up like total goofballs in the copy that gets out into the world, right? There's tools that can cover those gaps. You just have to be empathetic and honest with yourself of like, there's a different need there.
That's absolutely true. Again, just
Yeah.
being empathetic, setting them up for success. Again, who's going to help them out if not you, right? The leader, of course, of the team.
It's who, not how.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, I have that book like right here. It's who, not how with Dan Sullivan. If you're not deploying that with your virtual talent and you're only thinking that applies to stateside talent, again, you're the gap. They are people that need a leader just like anybody else. Show up and be the leader, and these problems don't show up. But yeah, I think that's the gap a lot of us have is an anxiety when deciding, is virtual talent for me? And once you get into it, it's the secret sauce to how do you make it your megaphone and your mega power that helps you stack up company building or growing the company that you have really easily.
Yes, of course. 100% agree with you there, Alicia. Now, while I still have you here, I have one last question. You've been working with Cyberbacker for almost 2 years now. Talked about it earlier. What's been the biggest impact of virtual leverage through Cyberbacker in your businesses so far?
Oh, man. For us, it was the tipping point of thinking much larger about who we got the opportunity to show up and play as in our industry, right? Like without virtual talent, I would probably grow, a normal sales team that did great production and make $1 million a year, hang my hat up and I'm good. Yeah. Working with virtual talent helped me realize that was thinking really flippin' small, given the size of my industry, the size of the globe. And so now we're really intentional that we are changing the commercial real estate industry. There's too many people to help and too many people that need coverage, both as an agent, maybe as a commercial brokerage, and especially as an investor, that the more momentum we can put behind the ideology we're bringing in the commercial space, the culture we're bringing into the commercial space. There's not many people that are like crazy redheads in the commercial real estate space that have a big light up heart on their wall with a guitar hanging beside it. Like, I want to bring a very playful experience to the commercial real estate world that doesn't really have the bandwidth to exist without virtual talent. And so it helped us think so much bigger. And I think for our clients that are getting virtual talent, they're realizing they can think bigger too. They can run faster because we're not left to the ceiling of achievement that is based on the talent in my immediate backyard. If the whole globe now is my talent field to decide who I hire from, the game has changed, right?
Absolutely.
If I only can hire who can walk in this door behind me and sit down in this little chair behind me, my game's pretty small.
Limited.
The second thing that happens is that my financial bandwidth to hire more people to do more things just went fourfold. Because to hire a talented single seat here might cost me $60,000 a year, whereas a full-time cyberbacker in the commercial space might cost me $1,500 a month.
Yeah, imagine.
So for less than $24,000 a year, I can get someone who has a college degree at a higher level than someone that does here to do a really great job and knock it out of the park. And I'm not just getting that person, I'm getting the leverage that's built between the cushion of Cyberbacker, that person, and me. So they've got some additional managers. They have growth backers. They've got the nucleus and like the foundation of RealNext or whatever CRM training portal you're in. We've got that training system in the commercial real estate space. So now you have this team that helps support that person for that $1,500 to $1,800 a month. Like, I can knock it out of the park versus the $3,000 to $5,000 a month I might spend on one person here that if I don't show up ready to train them, they're going to fail. I will too.
Gosh.
Most of us are not great trainers. Most of us are not great at hiring. Cyberbacker made all of that easier. So you can just run faster. You can build bigger. You can think bigger. You can help your clients better. And you can do it all in a way that helps people on the other side of the world have much bigger and influential lives as well.
That's why Cyberbacker is here, of course. And imagine this partnership has only started for just 2 years now. Imagine what you and your Cyberbackers, your whole team can do in, let's say, another 2 years. I think that's the very
Buckle up.
part,
We're
right?
going big places, man. We're really excited about it.
That's the very exciting part. So, one last thing, I forgot to tell you, of course, your Cyberbackers are going to be able to listen and watch this once we have this online. So before we end,
I have the best 4 Cyberbackers in all of Cyberbackerdom. Nobody can steal them. They're amazing.
No one's going to take them away from you, of course. Would you want to give them a quick shout out before we end today?
Absolutely. For my cyberbackers that are working between Green Bank Equities and between Launch and Nucleus, we think you guys are invaluable. You're absolutely incredible. The work you guys do on our team is irreplaceable. Buckle up. We're going big places.
Yeah. We're very, very excited to see the continued success of this partnership, of course. And again, Alicia, thank you very much for dropping by the show. I had fun talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.